you guys. So class number 2. I'm excited to meet you next Tuesday. And I don't know if you guys forgot or remembered to set a place for yourself. Remember that first class we talked about holding space for yourself. So when you walked in the door, did you stop to do that? You probably didn't, because it's not a habit yet. So let's just do that now really quick. Wherever you're at, just close your eyes and just take a few breaths out through the mouth. And it can be a yawn, or it can be an ah, or a ha. That's an AH or an HA. And then whenever you're ready to close the mouth, and start to breathe through your nose and just start to notice the breath. Follow it in. You feel the cool of the inhale as you draw in through the nose. Maybe you feel the heat of the exhale. And just start to drop into your body. Start to feel the sensations in your nose. Maybe you move down into your feet or your legs. Feel your legs. Feel your sit bones. Feel the belly. Let the belly soften. Let it go. Soften through the upper belly, solar plexus, the chest, the throat. And then when you're ready to, after you've taken a few more breaths here, just slowly start to blink your eyes open and come back into the room. And now we say proper hello. Now that you've grounded yourself, now that you've come in and made yourself present, leaving your to-do list at the door, leave your ego at the door, and just allow yourself to be here and present through this class. And each time, as often as you can remember, when you walk in the door, ground yourself, hold that space for your practice, and let's get started for today's practice. And today's class is on breath. Fundamental, foundational, most important to any practice of meditation, mindfulness, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, exercise, life. Our breath is fundamental. And it is such a profound, amazing health and life tool that we can use. Our breath mirrors your physiological state. And that's so worth repeating. Our breath mirrors our physiological state. It reveals to us, it shows us, it demonstrates, it unfolds for us where we're at, moment to moment, emotionally, physically, mentally. Am I stressed out? Is my breath shallow? Is it deep? It tells us so much about our state of mind and being. And it is also fundamental to practices of meditation and mindfulness and energy work, which is all what we're doing in here. Tai Chi and Qigong is all of those things. Because as they say in these practices, you want to become a hollow bamboo or a flute and allow the breath and the energy to flow through you. The breath connects us instantaneously to the present moment. It grounds us instantaneously, and it drops us into the sensation of our body, which is what you're going to need for this practice of Tai Chi and Qigong. You're feeling and testing and playing with and pushing and pulling and unblocking and enjoying energy. And in order to do that, we have to be present and use the breath as a tool to augment your practice. So you've probably all had a nice stretch, or you've done yoga where you're like, you reach out and at the very tip of the inhale, you're like, ah. You find the peak of the posture. You find the maximum sensation or the range of motion of that posture, but you've done it with the inhalation of the breath. You hit the very, very tip, and then it's time to come down and let go on the exhale as you slowly release down. The breath will help you get to so many subtle layers of this practice. And that's what the practice of meditation and mindfulness and Qigong and energy work is. It's subtle. We're dealing with the subtleties. We live mostly in our life in gross sensations, in the mind, in the head, at the level of the body, the level of thought. And all of these practices are bringing you down to the subtler levels and layers. And so start thinking about your breath in that way, using it as a tool and a gauge and a guide. And then also we want to do the right kind of breathing. There is such a thing as the right way or the right breath. And so we are doing a few things in a really silly way in society with our breathing. We mouth breathe often, we over breathe, we bypass our nose breath and all the amazing functions that our nose does, and we breathe vertically in a tense way, and we do a lot of silly things when we breathe. So I'm going to go over all of those with you and talk to you a little bit about how to breathe properly, and let you work on that and mull over that for the next 4 or 5 days until we meet. And take this seriously. If I could tell you there's one tool that I could teach you that if you incorporated would exponentially reach into every nook and cranny of your life and benefit you, it would be to have a regular practice of being conscious with your breathing. To have a regular practice of connecting to your breath, to using your breath as a foundation, as a tool. The breath is key in all of these practices. So, okay, how are we breathing incorrectly? So first of all, we mouth breathe a lot, and it's because I think we just got moving and rushed. We're always in a hurry and a rush, and we're always talking, blah, 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 blah. And so we're breathing a lot through our mouth, they're finding in our society. In fact, they're finding kids do this a lot. And when you breathe through your mouth, byproduct, side note, it shapes your jaw in a funky way. It does all sorts of other things, but mostly you're taking in a lot of air, but it's not really going anywhere because you've bypassed the features that your nose does for you. So when you nose breathe, close your mouth and breathe through your nose produces a thing called nitric oxide. It's a gas, and it tells your body, oh, she just took a breath, and this is how much of this breath and how we're going to take it in at the cellular level, how much oxygen I will input. And then it says, okay, this is how much oxygen we have. Now this is how much waste we have to expel on the exhale. But if I'm mouth breathing, I'm bypassing that beautiful, important function of the nose. And then also, when we nose breathe, we acclimate the breath to our body's temperature and moisture levels more. And we're practicing, especially this semester, in the wintertime. And so it would be helpful and beneficial for your body to be warmer, to be more pliable. And so that will help, nose breath will help with that. And then also nose breathing, nose breath provides a fundamental focal point to help you learn to meditate. In the meditation setting that I'm at right now, I don't know what day I'm on, but for the first 3 days we do a meditation called Anapana, which is just 3 days, 10 hours a day, sitting on the mat in silence, focusing on nose breathing, just focusing on this little part of your body, just to hone your attention down. And so it's a great tool also for concentration. And the other thing that we're doing when we breathe incorrectly is we're breathing from, like we're sucking in and drawing upward. We're breathing vertically. So what happens is we hit, you watch a baby when they breathe and their whole belly's distended and poked out, and they breathe through their full lower diaphragm and their belly. And then we start to hit that Pillsbury Doughboy moment or that first time someone pokes you in the belly and you go, oh, I have a belly? I'm gonna hold it in. And then stress hits, and then we go to the doctor, and the doctor puts a stethoscope where, like right up here, not down here. And so we're like, oh, I'm supposed to breathe up here. I'm supposed to breathe through my top of my chest. And then if I told you to stop and take a deep breath, it probably looks something like this. You probably go. And so when we do that, everything goes up, 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 up when we start to breathe through this little portion of our body. And what happens is stress, fight or flight. We start off our nice relaxed breathing in stress mode. And so I want you to start thinking about breath as a multi-dimensional concept rather than breathing up and down. I want you to start thinking about breathing out, side to side, and just kind of this rocking motion forward and back as you start to breathe. And I want you to start thinking about breathing lower in your belly and about softening your belly. I'm going to give you permission, coolest thing ever, to just let go of your belly right now. Don't hold it in. Let it go. Relax it. And then as you breathe, let the belly expand. And draw the breath all the way down in your belly. And as you exhale, let the belly sink and contract towards the spine. And just let go. Because when you're practicing a movement like this, relaxation is key, breath is key. So if you're holding in the breath like that, there's no way you're going to be able to relax and go with the flow of your energy and your breath. And so it is important to breathe properly, and we're going to go through a little exercise right now in breathing. But what I will tell you for your homework is, over the next couple of days until you come back in Tuesday, focus on your breath as often as you can and just see what's going on with my breath. Take a deep breath, shallow breath, any kind of breath, any time of the day you can think about it. And over the next couple of 4 or 5 days, see if maybe 50 times or 60 times, if you can, you think about your breath and just pay attention to it. Just start to let it sink in, that concept. Start to let it marinate. And what I found that when you're adding something, we add something to our plate that's already full, then it's hard to pick up a new habit. So I like to add things in to things I'm already doing, so I'm not adding another thing in. So just think, what do I do repetitively in my day? I go to the bathroom, I get a drink of water, maybe I get in the car and drive places. So, maybe every time you go into the bathroom and you look in the mirror, or every time you go to drink a glass of water, or every time you get in the car, do something repetitive. Stop for a second. Just take a nose breath or two. And see how instantaneously it grounds you into the present moment and just changes every facet of your life. And I've had students that say, oh my gosh, you said the first class. This is usually the first thing I teach. It's actually the second thing in this class. But they say, oh, well, you were talking about breath and it was so paramount and important and it would change everything, and it was a game changer to start to pay attention to your breath. And I thought you were joking, or I thought you were exaggerating. But I've actually had so many students come up to me afterwards and say, wow, that 1 week changed a lot of things for me. And so if there's one thing that you take away from this entire semester, I hope it's that you gain a deeper and more consistent connection to your coolest health tool, guide, gauge, your breath. One of my favorite meditation gurus, I think this was Osho's, said the first thing we do when we come into this life is suck a breath in, inhale, and the last thing we do when we go out is an exhale. Breath is paramount. So start to get intimate and connect to your breath over the next week, and let's start our breath exercise, you guys.